We end the year. We don't get to talk to you enough, actually, so I feel like this will be our last interview for this year. We'll hopefully speak to you more in the new year. But we end this year with the government. It's been a pretty messy end. The polls are the way they are. It was, once talked about Anthony Albanese as being a two-term Prime Minister. Now that's definitely not a guarantee. Do you lament the last couple of months? Could Labor have done better?
I think it's been a very difficult time internationally with the crisis we were just talking about, and the other ongoing problems in Ukraine and so on. And domestically, we've seen the impact of inflation and cost of living problems on people's budgets and their day-to-day lives. But I think every government gets to a stage where, you're just slogging through and doing the best for people. And if you look at yesterday's mid-year economic and fiscal update, you see some very positive news there, including, Labor's the first government in 15 years to have a surplus. We've made about $50 billion worth of savings since coming to government, and that means hundreds of billions of dollars saved over the term of our government because we'll be paying less in interest. We don't have to borrow as much money. That puts downward pressure on inflation. We've seen stellar jobs growth, and that's a very good story. We've begun to see wages going up, and we've been able to invest $23 billion in helping people with cost of living measures. So I think there's a lot of light on at the end of the tunnel. There's a good story to tell in the new year.
I thought you were going to say a good story to tell in the Murray-Darling Basin, and that was certainly one of the highlights, I think, for the government last week. But Victoria's not on board.
Yeah,
so it's not all smooth sailing.
No. Well, it's never all smooth sailing when you're in government, Laura. But the Murray-Darling Basin is a terrific step forward. We're going to return about 180,000 Olympic swimming pools of water to the river system, and that's so important as we go into hotter, drier weather. Again, over the next few years, we're going into a dry cycle. It means that, those 100-year-old river gums are going to survive. It means that the native fish and birds are able to keep breeding, the platypuses along the riverbanks. It's so important for the environment, but it's also really important for communities. Like the toll that it takes when, during a drought, the riverbed through your town is dry for over a year at a time, as we saw last time we were in drought. It takes a real psychological and economic toll on communities. Murray-Darling River System is the drinking water for 3 million Australians. So the fact that we've been able to pass legislation to give us more time, more options, more money and more accountability to deliver the plan fully is great. And I've already returned more water to the environment than those opposite did in the 9 years that they're in government. And I've got a really positive view of what we can do for that 1 million square kilometres of inland Australia that is the Murray-Darling Basin. Better for communities, better for farmers, better for tourism, better for industry, and of course very much better for the environment.
Okay, we'll hold you to that, and we look forward to doing so in 2024. Tanya Plibersek, thanks so much.
Thank you, Laura.